thinking back to your childhoods, what was it that got you excited about the engineering field, and what made you want to take this path in your education?
For me, it was kind of a weird start. It kind of started with penguins. So when I was a kid, I would always draw like little made up enclosures for animals, and then one day I showed my parents a picture of an enclosure I drew for penguins, and I'm like, I want to be a zookeeper, and they're like, why? Because a zookeeper, it's not the most glamorous job, and they're sending me to expensive schools and stuff like that, and conversations led, and it's like, oh, I want to be an engineer. And then since then, it was kind of orienting my drawings that way, and it kind of grew the normal Lego sets, Lego Technic, all that stuff up until high school, where I was able to do more hands-on stuff. Do
you still have a passion for animals?
Yeah. I don't. In college, I'm not really able to work directly with them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I still like animals, and it's always that environmental consciousness.
Yeah.
With designs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Cool. How about you, Cameron?
For me, I think that I've always been a hands-on person. I think it started out as, I want to be an inventor, right? That's sort of what you start with. But I think when it really accelerated for me was in high school. I had definitely a lot of formative experiences. One big one was starting my own solar car team. So I was able to help co-found it. I spent 2 years designing and building it from scratch. I learned TIG welding. I learned about electrical systems, 12-volt systems, 48-volt systems,
wow.
Everything. And this culminated in my senior year where, after COVID, we were able to actually go down to Dallas and race it on the NASCAR Speedway.
Wow.
And luckily enough, we actually got to win and we were national champions.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It was really an amazing experience and a great way to end off my high school career. But, experiences like those really showed me that I had a passion for engineering. I enjoyed building. I enjoyed designing. So I think that's really where it came from. And I'm a bioengineering major, which is the same as biomedical engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And I think specifically my passion for the medical device industry really came from, that side of mechanical engineering, but also, seeing things such as my grandma and my mom going through all of these surgeries and also having laparoscopic surgery myself. It really showed the importance of that. And so I sort of put those two passions together and came to the conclusion that, I want to be a bioengineer.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the med device is a great field to apply all that knowledge and wisdom that you've got. So that's great.
Yeah.
I think every time I was asked what I wanted to be when I grew up, I thought it was going to be a dentist or an eye doctor. I don't know why I thought it was so interesting, but I did. And then I don't think it was until early in middle school when I'm about to go in high school, one of my math teachers, she was so incredible, and I just think I found a love for numbers that way, and I kind of fostered that love and passion for math and science all throughout high school as well. I was actually, one of the only handful of girls in a lot of my STEM classes and things like that, but actually, one thing that we got to do in high school was I was on an all-girl team. There was 6 of us, and we actually got to build a catapult and compete at Rowan University, and we threw pumpkins. We launched them off the catapult, and that was the first time that I got into a wood shop and got to work with my hands, and that's not something, a lot of girls get exposure to, but I did, and I found a love for it, and I've kind of just ran with it, and now I'm a mechanical engineering major, which is cool, and yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I was having a conversation with Mr. Mugno from Northern Highlands not too long ago, and he was telling me that it really has almost gotten to the point where his classes are 50-50.
Yeah.
That there are as many young women taking STEM classes as there are young men, and he said in his way, and they're just kicking our butts. so it's great to see because and even Triangle's a great example of that. I remember when I started, I could probably count the number of women that worked at Triangle on one hand.
Yeah.
And now we have quality engineers, we have manufacturing engineers, The diversity of our population here at Triangle really has branched out. And, whether it's people, inspectors or on the shop floor, there are women in just about every walk of life or Triangle's walk of life anyway.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I'm very proud of is how diverse of a culture we have and how many people are, getting into what we do. And it fills me with pride,
Yeah.
So.
No, definitely. When we were walking on the tour, actually just every department we learned about, every building we went into, I saw all the women, and it kind of made me excited because I actually, other classrooms are looking better for the numbers of girls, but sometimes it's a little scarce. But I saw, a bunch of women, and every single part of the tour I took, and in the beginning, and it was exciting for me to be able to have that.
That's great.